Still in the movie lane, Nigerian advocacy filmmaker Michael Chinemeke has described advocacy filmmaking as a labor of passion because it is not known to return big turnovers. The director of a period poverty documentary, Flow with Pride, who was also a part of Nigerian delegates to the United Nations World Social Development Summit in Qatar, explains the pivotal role movies can play in shaping social construct in the world.
Yeah, I just came back from Qatar, where I was official delegate for the United Nations World Social Development Summit. It was a very wonderful opportunity for me because, I got to experience firsthand the efforts that many countries are making for social development. Participated in the plenary and a lot of side events, and I got to learn so much about some of these things. The most important thing is that I attended, I think I would say that I represented the creatives in Nigeria because I went there as a filmmaker and was able to participate in a couple of sessions, where I was also able to share my view. We talked about in one of the sessions where they discussed the issues of young women facing all kinds of challenges. I was able to contribute as regard the documentary film I did on menstrual health and period poverty in Nigeria, and I advocated for cases where a lot of our young girls are not properly supported and stuff like that. One of the key takeaways, one of the wonderful things that happened from the conference, from the summit, was I think today I was officially appointed the Director of African Operations by one of the organizations at the summit, the Ivy Youth Center from China. So it's an organization that supports young people, young entrepreneurs in various ways. So basically, I'll be facilitating intercultural exchange between the African communities and those of China. So it's a very wonderful opportunity, and it's one of the takeaway, one of the things I would use to keep helping and supporting the creative community we have here in Nigeria.
I shed tears listening to these girls, what they pass through during their period. So they tell me that when they're on the period, they have to sit on top of a clothes.
Okay, well, the thing is that for anyone to, especially in Nigeria, for you to go into advocacy films, you need to actually be passionate, because everyone knows that it's not really the commercial, venue. It's not the money-making venture, but it's something that you need to actually want to create a change. Because these are some of the things that will push you when the challenges come. First of all, we all know that the main thing is funding. For most people, before you can even start doing an advocacy film, you need to actually get a grant first, because without that, it's actually very expensive to make a documentary film or an advocacy film, because you need to start with research. These are not fiction that you just sit down and write. You need to actually get your facts right. You need to travel a lot. If an advocacy film needs to take you to some places that you're not supposed to be very popular, you need to go, because these are the ways you can be able to tell the very, very impactful story. So funding is a problem, and it's always difficult because it's not something you can pitch to someone to make money. So it has to be someone that is very generous to support or some kind of grants. We also have like situations I mentioned. When we did the documentary film on period poverty in Nigeria, we had to go to the north, and we went to Adamawa, an IDP camp. These people were displaced by Boko Haram. It was very terrifying because, the whole insecurity, but then this was something we were passionate about. So we have that case where for you to actually tell that story, you need to go to places that are very difficult, very, very inconveniencing for you. You need to risk your life sometimes. I see people that actually make movies covering war and stuff like that. Many of them even lose their life in the process. There are also things like, there are certain documentary films you will do, and some part of the public may not be happy with you. Like there's a very, let me officially say, there's a documentary film I'm doing currently that is very quiet. It's something I'm taking gradually, and it's a documentary that bordered around internet fraud. And that's a documentary that I know that when it's released, a lot of young people are not really going to be happy or something like that. But these are some of the things you experience. So it has to deal with having to make up your mind that when you do this, some people may not be happy, but you just have to do it because the advocacy is needed. You need to make some points, and it's very good for, to have a better society. So.